The Blarney Stone is a limestone building block that is built into the wall of Blarney Castle in Ireland. According to legend, if you kiss the Blarney Stone, it will make you eloquent, also known as having the gift of the gab or the gift of Blarney. Since the 18th century, millions of people have kissed the Blarney Stone in the hopes of acquiring Blarney. There is no single word to accurately describe what exactly Blarney is. Blarney is more than just eloquence. It is speech that is simultaneously clever, flattering, and persuasive. It was once said that, when you've kissed the Blarney Stone, you'll have the ability to take both sides of an argument at the same time, and win. Kissing the Blarney Stone isn't easy. In order to do so, you must climb 127 steep steps to the top of the castle walls. Then you must lean over backwards on the parapet's edge, which is 25 meters from the ground. The parapet is well fitted with wrought iron guardrails and protective crossbars to prevent people falling to the ground below. But before the current safeguards were installed, the kiss was performed with the risk of falling to your death. In the 19th century, those who kissed the stone generally had an assistant to hold them by the ankles while they dangled upside down over the 25-meter drop. However, this was deemed to be too dangerous, which is why today you instead lean backwards to simulate being upside down. There are no reliable records of visitors ever falling to their deaths while attempting to kiss the stone, although it's possible that one or two may have during the 19th century. It is not known when the ritual of kissing the Blarney Stone began. Up until at least the 1770s, most people were visiting Blarney Castle to see the grounds and not the stone. By the late 18th century, word had spread about the Blarney Stone, and there were even poems being written about it. One of the earliest written pieces about the Blarney Stone comes from a book written by Francis Grose in 1785, who mentioned travellers licking the stone. During the 19th century, the popular act of kissing the stone gained momentum, and its popularity continues to this day. Each year, around 400,000 tourists visit the stone. This in turn has raised questions about how unsanitary the stone may be with so many people kissing it, particularly during 2020, when COVID-19 caused the attraction to be closed for 3 months. These days, if you ask the Blarney Stone attendant, they will wipe the stone for you with an antibacterial wipe before you kiss it. There is a theory that the current Blarney Stone isn't the original, but this is denied by the castle owners. However, some historians believe that during the 19th century, several different blocks were regarded as being the real Blarney Stone. One of those stones is engraved with 1446, which is the year that the castle was built. What's important to note about the 1446 stone is that it's extremely difficult and dangerous to reach. Some tourists in the 19th century did believe that the 1446 stone was the real one, and they kissed it by precariously dangling from a rope. Historian Mark Samuel speculates that at some point during the 19th century, the current stone was chosen instead for safety reasons. Also, as the current Blarney Stone is in a relatively safe spot to access, it has been able to attract many more tourists. Because no one knew where the Blarney Stone came from, numerous myths and legends have sprung up over the centuries. One popular story involves Cormac Lord McCarthy, who built Blarney Castle, and the goddess Clena. McCarthy was said to be involved in a lawsuit during the construction of Blarney Castle. Fearing that he would lose the lawsuit, he prayed to Clena, Queen of the Banshees, for her assistance. She instructed McCarthy to kiss the first stone he found in the morning on his way to court. He did so, which allowed him to plead his case so eloquently that he won. To thank her and to preserve the power of the stone, he had it incorporated into a parapet. Another popular legend is that the Blarney Stone is one half of the Stone of Scone. The Stone of Scone being the seat which kings of Scotland were traditionally coronated on. It is said that the Blarney Stone was presented to an earlier Cormac McCarthy by Robert the Bruce in 1314, as thanks for sending men to defeat the English in the Battle of Bannockburn. It has also been rumoured that the Blarney Stone was acquired during the Crusades and brought back to Ireland, or that it was made from the same material used at Stonehenge. Since Ireland has deep Catholic roots, many of the speculations about the Blarney Stone connect to biblical events and saints. For example, some say that the Blarney Stone is actually Jacob's pillow, or that it's the stone that Moses struck to provide water to the Israelites when they were fleeing Egypt. However, the idea that the stone was in any way brought to Ireland was conclusively debunked in 2014. Analysis of a sample of the Blarney Stone showed that it matched geochemical signatures to local limestone. The only story that probably has some truth to it involves Queen Elizabeth I. Cormac Tig McCarthy, not to be confused with either of the earlier Cormac McCarthys, was asked to hand over Blarney Castle to the Queen as a show of loyalty. Using his wit and persuasive speech, he was able to keep making excuses and delay negotiations. Eventually, the whole situation became something of a running gag at court. In the end, McCarthy got to keep his castle, and the Queen said in frustration that it was all Blarney.